Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another week. I'm back at home, as you can see, and we are ready to get things going. So let me know if everything sounds okay and looks okay, because today I am actually streaming entirely from the YoloBox, and we are giving this a try again today, and yeah, hopefully everything is fine. So I got a bunch of stuff plugged in. We'll go through this in a second. But yeah, hopefully you can see and hear me okay. We should also be streaming in 4K today because I'm using the YoloBox. And the YoloBox has a couple 4K cameras coming into it. So I have this is my main LUMIX camera behind the teleprompter. And I have to run the HDMI out of it because the SDI out does not do 4K. So I pulled the HDMI out into one of the HDMI inputs here. And then I have the overhead also running HDMI out 4K into this. And then a couple other cameras that I plugged in. So the YoloCam, we checked this out a couple weeks ago. This is the Micro Four Thirds YoloCam. You'll see why in a second, but it's like lower, so I underneath my teleprompter, so the angle's kind of weird, sorry. But now you can see the top of that shelf. And then the other one, this is over USB, so I assume it's 4K, but I have no way to actually verify that. And then same with this one. This is the YoloCam S3, the little tiny one that is next to me. And again, over USB, so I don't know. I can't confirm that it's 4K, but it's supposed to be. And then the other cameras I have like the wall camera routed, and this is 1080, so this is going to be upscaled. That's 1080 coming through the switcher and all that. And then this one is the NDI camera, the PTZ camera. So it's also 1080. And I routed the multi-view of the YoloBox out and back into itself, so I can actually show you the screen of the YoloBox now, which I think is kind of cool. So as I'm showing you stuff here, I'll be able to actually show you the screen. And the one trick is that this is actually a picture-in-picture screen because I didn't want it to be a tunnel vision. So normally up in this, top left corner, it would have been a tunnel vision. So I just put a picture-in-picture over it so that you can't, and you can't tell. It's great. So yeah, okay. Who do we got in the chat? What's going on? Let's take a look at what's going on. Looks and sounds good, says Matt and Gwen. Great, thanks for confirming. Yeah, that shirt. I put a link to this down below. You can find this in my Shopify store. Everybody needs more camera angles. TVJ, your 4K signal looks good in 480p on my phone. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Matt agrees. Matt, I still to my long helping you, the 1080 is all you need. Sorry, Frank. Well, maybe someone's watching on a 4K TV and now you can just see more of my face. Can you do IRL streams with this, and would it be suited well for this? So yes, but keep in mind this is actually not small anymore. So the YoloBox Extreme is pretty big. It's I want to say, actually, here is my iPad. You can compare next to it. This is an iPad Pro, so it's about the same size, like width and height, but then it's obviously the iPad's way thinner. So the YoloBox is like that thick, and way heavier. So it's about the size of a iPad Pro, but way big, way thicker and way heavier. So yes, you absolutely can do IRL streams with it, but I was supposed to be on that. I think I bumped this is the problem with touchscreens, is it's very easy to accidentally press the button. I was trying to show you the iPad. Did I show you the iPad? No, I don't know. This is what I was trying to show you, is the iPad compared to the YoloBox. So there's that's what I'm going to do so I don't do it again. Okay, that's the width and height, about the same. iPad is way thinner. So yeah, it's big. It's a big device. They do make a YoloBox Mini that's like this big. It is significantly less powerful, so keep that in mind. But yes. Wow, 4K again. Yes. I wanted to give it another try. Oh, also, because of the problems we had last time, I proactively changed the streaming settings, and we are just going straight into H.264 because the last time we did this, no, actually, yes, H.265 was the problem. And that was also the problem last week with the Director Mini that I brought with me on the trip. And it was creating some gray blank frames every now and then in the encoding. And I switched it over to H.264 midstream, and that seemed to make the problem go away. So clearly, like, the encoders are not quite there on H.265 yet, but this is H.264 today. TVJ says that shirt is very popular at my live sports gigs. I love to hear it. Yeah. Hello, NX3D. Got your nice stand set up for this YoloBox. Yeah, so this YoloBox Extreme, this is the PK1 stand from NX3D, and this is very, very useful for the YoloBox because it tips it at this angle. Otherwise, it's like really awkward to be looking at it flat on a desk. Just really needs to be tipped up a little bit. So Yeah, this is, and then it's a cage also. So it's got these little arms that you can, they're optional. You can attach them or not, but these give you either just a way to hold it if you're like moving it around, but also these little cold shoe mounts. So you can attach, you could like, if you're putting this up on a tripod, you could attach lights there. You can put like a mic receiver. What else would I put? Oh, like a HDMI, wireless HDMI receiver. That's a useful one to put here. So you can attach that and then run HDMI in to get wireless HDMI. So really handy to have the little mounting points for stuff all around the stand. Matt says, I had it on 4K and switched to 1080, and on my studio monitor, I can't tell the difference. Okay. Marsden says 4K stream looks great. Mike says video quality is definitely better in a noticeable way. Great. Attila says 4K is okay. David says 4K looks great. When is Apple going to release an iPhone with 4K display? What is the resolution? I don't actually know what the native resolution of the iPhone is now that I think about it. Peter says, I got my Director 1 in this week and did my first show with it last Friday. First impressions are pretty good. Thanks for answering so many questions. Glad to hear it. I'm very glad that has worked out for you. I do think you'll be very happy with that. Wow, that's pretty massive. Yeah, it's not a small little box. It's yeah. Yeah, now you can see the thickness of it over here. So it goes down to the top of that case. So yeah, this is so far so good, working pretty well. You can see the CPU for this is hovering around 50 to 60%. And that's because I do have quite a lot of stuff plugged into it. So I have the, yeah, all the different camera angles. So I have 2 USB cameras, 2 4K HDMIs, 2 1080 HDMIs. I am using the HDMI out, and then a couple of scenes I've created here. So the this multi-view scene, again, this is a picture-in-picture because if I show you the output directly, you get a tunnel vision, which is not particularly fun. So I just put my face over top of it, over top of where the program is, so that it's simulated. But so that's a picture-in-picture. The map at the beginning is a composite of a web page, which is the web page is this one, which is just like a full screen map, and then there's this graphic, this image that I put over top of it, which adds the live like top banner and the bottom. Probably at this point I should just move that into the map and like into the web page, but right now I composite them. Why did I do that? Oh, I remember why. Because for a while when I was doing this on the ATEM, I would swap it was actually overlaid on top, and I would swap out the map for like the thumbnail, and it was like the layer below. So that's less important now that I've completely changed how everything works. So probably I should just put that on the webpage, and it'll simplify that, so I don't have to make a scene there. And then what else do I have in here? I also have the thumbnail for the show, and then of course the web graphics for the chat messages. They show up there. So if I show a chat message, that is showing up in the web overlay, and it's brought into the stream that way. Yeah, NX30 says, thanks. We released a stand for the OC Duet 8 ISO and a Black Friday 2025 sale at 30% off. Great. Thanks for that. Let me drop that in the chat. And then let me find the link to the I don't know where my affiliate links went for it, but oh, and I forgot to route my computer into the YoloBox, so I can't show you my screen right now. But we can probably fix that. Yeah, let me fix that really quick. I have two sources routed from my rig here so I can actually swap this with my computer screen. And now I have my computer there. So let's go make a layout while we've got this here, because that is one of the useful things about the YoloBox is we can create these nice layouts. So there's my computer screen. Let's go make a new layout here, which is going to be, we're going to do news layout. No, side by side. Then we're going to do camera and computer. And then I should be able to, no, I did want, yes, that is the one that I want. Okay, great. So I can crop my face, but leave the computer screen. And then for the background, I guess, do I have my, I thought I had my RGB background in here, but, huh. I don't know where the RGB went. I don't want that one. I want, also, why do you not see any SD card? Well, I'll just use one of the built-in ones. Great. Yeah. And now I've got this nice layout. So cool. Yeah, this is great. Look at this. They did a good job with that. I like the little plant in the photo. Nice touch. Very cool. So let me grab the link for that and share that in the chat. Well, I can't find my affiliate link. Cool. Oh, and Andre says YouTube live captions seem to have improved significantly. Oh yeah, one of the other side effects of the 4K is that I can't stream, or I can't use ultra low latency. So my stream latency has to be normal, or I think low does work in 4K. Let's see. I don't remember now. Anyway, I usually stream in ultra low latency, just to keep it really live. But that does not support 4K. So I had to switch to normal latency. But normal latency also means I can do automatic captions, which are normally, which are not possible on ultra low. So I could switch my normal stream to do normal latency and get auto captions, but yeah. Nathan says, how many cameras in 4K is YoloCam S3 also in the show? So this is the YoloCam angle. It's a little bit of a funny angle. Oh, I'll show you the angle with this other camera. So the Yolo, I actually originally, I did actually try to put the YoloCam behind the teleprompter, and then realized that it doesn't work because this little thing is the focus. The focusing is on the side there, and if it's in the teleprompter, it's blocked. So can't use it in the teleprompter, unfortunately. So it is sitting low below there because I didn't want to move this entire rig out of the way. So that is why this camera angle is a little bit lower than normal. But yes, this is the YoloCam S7. There's a link to that below, and I have the 12-35 lens on it right now, which is a nice lens. Although I think they actually recommend the 15mm, which is also a good lens, but this way you get a little bit of zoom. And then this camera is the other YoloCam, the webcam S3, which was my main camera for the stream last week. That was while I was at the hotel. I brought this and not a lot else. I didn't bring like a real camera. And so it did pretty good. It took, I downloaded the desktop app for it to do some color tweaking, and I was able to get it pretty close to the Pocket 3 colors. And then and yeah, it looks pretty good. It's got some decent autofocus and stuff. So yeah, um, this is the picture from the YoloCam S3. What is going on in the chat? Are you doing audio via USB or the mic line input or HDMI? So right now, this is this audio is being brought in through HDMI. So it is matching the. It is the like my LUMIX cameras in here are still tied into the ATEM. That's like my main studio rig, and I just have a couple of outputs that go into the YoloBox. The audio is coming through that. So it's my normal overhead microphone setup running in to the mixer and then combined in HDMI. So the audio is coming in over HDMI. So if you look at the audio mixer here, we've got the patch one is the patch cable that's on the rack here, and that's where my audio is coming in. I did put the DJI mic here over USB just in case we can switch over to that, but I wanted just the regular audio for now. Matt says 2622-1206 is the iPhone 17. I didn't realize it was not actually at all close to 4K. Interesting. David says, when I use my iPhone to cast content on my 4K smart TV, the TV says it can't stream the content because it's at a lower resolution. I even tried 4K Chromecast and it won't upconvert in lower res. That's weird. Huh. Justin says, when using the 2ME, how are you managing timecode when switching from camera to camera? Tentacle syncs on each camera. Won't you get a frame or two off on the sync out to the program every cam switch? I will admit I haven't played around with timecode very much. I mostly, at this point, just do straight recording, multicam recording straight into a drive. So I haven't done a lot of, I haven't had to deal with timecode much. Yeah, sorry. Photo Joseph talks more about timecode. You might go check out his channel. No wonder I saw the comment you posted, then 20 seconds later you talked about putting it into the comments. Oops, yeah. Chat is way ahead. OC Go Stream Duet 8 ISO is more professional. I mean, they're all just different ways of doing it, right? So like this is, a touchscreen device, so it comes with all the pros of a touchscreen and all the cons of a touchscreen. Like, it's hard to, you can't really switch by feel anymore, so I can't be like, have my hands over the buttons and then be watching something in the real world and switching, right? It's like very likely to get my fingers misaligned versus a physical button. I can kind of wait on the button and then press it. But on the flip side, the touchscreen means it's a lot easier to get more options in the interface because it can change, and you can also get a keyboard. I can like create an actual, a lower third with text, and I can type in text on here. So, yeah. Alonzo says, I tried the same thing with the YoloCam S7 behind the teleprompter, and somehow the otherwise fantastic focus stopped working. It could be a deal breaker for someone. Yeah, it is kind of a bummer that their autofocus is like special autofocus and it uses a totally separate sensor, not the lens, not the camera lens. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't really work behind a teleprompter. I assume this S3 would be fine behind a teleprompter because it's just the one lens, and you could use a much smaller teleprompter for this guy. But yeah, for the YoloCam S7 that takes good lenses, it's not really going to work behind a teleprompter, unfortunately. I guess if they made it so that you could change the autofocus mode so that you could change it from the fancy extra sensor to just using the camera, then it could work behind a teleprompter, but we'll see. Is the XML on the Extreme yet? Oh yeah, so that was the other thing that they just did in this update. If you go over to their core tab, I haven't actually tried this yet, but this feature does exist. So here is what they say. There's a checkbox to turn it on, and then it'll contain the full timeline, which can be imported directly, showing the cuts and media used during the live event. All video source tracks are muted by default. if a video source was not recorded, its clips will be replaced by the program video. So what that means is that because you may not actually be recording all the angles, right? Because like you have to choose which angles you want to record, and there is a limit. Like you can't record everything. I forget how many. Let's see what happens when I start checking them all. Well, it says it'll work. I'm pretty sure it'll eat too much CPU if I do this. Let's try. Oh, encoder bitrate limit of 120 megabits has been reached by turning on this operation. So that's good to know. 120 megabits is the encoder limit. So we need to remove enough to get under that limit. That's still too many. Probably all the 4K ones are not helping. I wish it would tell you like here what it was getting up to so you don't have to guess and check. There we go. Enabling this operation will reach the performance limit. This is helpful though. Current CPU usage is 57. Enabling this is estimated to increase by 24. Yeah, this is actually extremely helpful. I like that they did that. Here, let me do this again so you can see it better. Oops, my picture-in-picture covered it up. There we go. There we go. So, and if you have too many of them checked, you get this warning, which is saying that it's reached the limit. But this is actually really helpful because it is better to warn you that you're doing something that might be overloading before doing it versus just jumping in and having just having frame drops immediately. So yeah. What is delay? Or are you talking about on the audio tab? So this is where if you need to delay your audio because your video is delayed, you can do that here. So if actually I'm not sure if these are in sync now that I think about it. I don't know if this camera is in sync with the audio because the audio is coming in over HDMI and this one's coming in over USB. But also like every camera will have different delays itself. So some cameras have more or less HDMI output delay. So if you're bringing in your audio over, let's say USB, where did it go? Oh, it turned off. So if I turn on when I turn on the DJI mic, it'll pop up here as a USB device in a second. And there we go. Nope. I don't know why it's not turning on. Try this again. Maybe I have to unplug it and plug it back in. There we go. So, so I already have a delay on it, but you can see that you can adjust it this way because otherwise the audio will be ahead of the video because all the HDMI video is delayed. But since I'm bringing in the audio over the same source as the camera, it's going to match because I've already delayed my audio in the audio mixer. Alonso says, haven't tried S3, but since we have the teleprompter more or less at the same distance, it'll need some cropping. Oh yeah, that too. Good point. Gwen says, it would definitely be more helpful if it gave you a running total. Yeah, that would be nice if it would tell you that you were approaching the maximum encoding bitrate. Mike says, when 4K streaming, probably can't add too many 4K ISO recordings, saw from PhotoJoseph's video. Yeah, so that's the interesting thing about this is that like the Extreme, it is much more powerful than all the other ones, but it still does have limits. And it has, 8 HDMI inputs, but you can't necessarily, plug them all in and ISO record everything all at the same time with all the USB inputs that are set also. So it's, it does have some limits, and I think they're doing a better job now of like showing you what the limits are on, as you're using it versus originally where it would just like hit 100% CPU, and then you would start getting frame drops. So that's really helpful. Alonso says max on the Extreme is 4K 120, so program plus 4 at 4K 20. Yeah, okay. Although it's weird because it said it hit the limit. Yeah, it said it hit the limit with. Oh, but my program is set to 28, so I have. Maybe it's 28 for all of them. Yeah, it must be 28 for all of them. And then there's 4 things checked, and that's the limit. I am at 4K 30. Only 5 are 4K if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, no, that's sorry. I didn't mean they were all 10. They were all 4K inputs. I can't remember if it's 4 half or 5, but yeah, only some of them support 4K and some of these support 1080. And they actually recommend that you plug into the 4K ones first, but before you plug into the 1080 ones. Don't really understand why, but even if I have, so some of these are 1080 and I plug them into the 4K inputs, even though I have these free, just because that was what it said on the screen when I plugged them in. Gwen says bringing audio in via camera HDMI is my favorite. I hate trying to figure out what audio delay should be for sync. I agree. It's the easiest way is to do the clap test where you have both audio turned on wearing headphones, and then you can hear if they're in sync. But I agree, it's a lot easier to just get it in sync in the first place before it even hits the switcher. Aaron is far gutsier than I am plugging things in and out during a show. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that comes back to bite me. Matt says, I did a live stream with every port on my Ultra, so 4 HDMI, 1 NDI, 1 USB, and it all worked, but the unit was hot, and it was using 81%, but it lasted 75 minutes without an issue. That's great. Yeah. I think maybe ISO recording might throw a wrench into that, but for streaming, that's good. That's really good that it can do that. Andre says, I like the YoloBox, but the USB out latency is pretty high when you try to use it for webinars. Ours is a special use case, though. Yeah, that is true. It's not my favorite for that use case, just plugging it in as a webcam into the computer. It definitely makes more sense for doing a full stream like this. So, do you know if the Extreme has better USB latency? I don't actually know if it's better than the Ultra. How much more powerful is the Extreme than the Ultra? I might have stats from them on that. No, I don't. Wait. Yes. What's this? I got a document. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share the raw data. It's probably fine. This is the comparison sheet. So YoloBox Extreme, 8 Gen 2. It's not even using the same numbered system anymore. So the Ultra was a step up. Mini and Pro have the 660. Ultra went to the 865 CPU. Extreme uses the 8 Gen 2. I don't know how that compares. I wonder if we can find any stats on that. Verse 865. Is there wow, AI wants to answer the question. This looks like maybe a real. No, that's just an auto-generated page. That's not helpful. Google's AI answers are trying to be helpful. So faster memory. It's not a very helpful AI summary after all. I don't even really know how to compare these processors anymore. What does... Ooh, I might be able to get information from the source. Can I... Can I add other products to the list? Nope. So close, Qualcomm. I want to add other products. Oh well. Promote test clip define sync. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't actually know if it's the best way to match audio sync for cameras, but I will mention it anyway. Do I have it handy? I think it's on one of these racks of SD cards. My little 3D printed SD card racks. One of these, hiding behind this pumpkin, is my test clips. Which, by the way, if you don't know about, you should absolutely know about them. So I'm going to show you what they do. And we're going to plug one into... How are we going to do this? I think we're going to do this... I think we're going to play it natively on the YoloBox. So I've got... I'm going to have to drop the link in the chat after 20 seconds. So what I'm going to do is show you this. I'll drop this link in there in a second. This is a little stress test clip that I made, which just plays on a loop. It's like a minute-long loop, and it has this frame counter and a bunch of encoder features. It's really blurry here because this is a very blurry animated GIF version, but it's a extremely crisp graphic with a bunch of different things that'll test the encoder in different ways. So I'm going to put this on the YoloBox and we'll pull it up and see what happens. But this website goes through and talks about all the different things and why, what to look for when you're looking at all the different squares. So I have this on an SD card, and there's a couple different ways to use it. One is to use it by playing back clips like on a device that has SD card playback, but another one is to run it through some other device like a HyperDeck, which let me turn those on so I can do that. Run it through a HyperDeck, and that way you can bring it in through HDMI and test an HDMI input on a device. So I'm going to boot that up also, and theoretically, actually, I should be able to do a 4K test with this, which I don't get to do very often. Where did my 4K ones go? So I have, I don't know where maybe it's in the HyperDeck. Yep, there it is. Okay, which one can I route? The, patch 1 and 2. So I think patch 1 is my computer screen, so I can... Let me steal patch 2 for that. And that's going to be HyperDeck 1. Oh, I need the HDMI out. Right, because my thing is not 4K. Okay, cool. So I'll just use HyperDeck 1 and pop it in. And then we're going to grab an HDMI cable. Why don't I have an HDMI cable handy? There we go. And that should go from... Oh, that one's too far away. So I guess we're putting it into that guy. 3, which should be this one. And then... So I've got all my little HyperDecks over there. And this I will plug into one of the 4K ports, which is... Wow, the screen printing on this is really hard to read. Okay, it is. There are 5 4K ports. So I have one more 4K free. And then we're going to go into here, set the codec ProRes. Set storage to 4K 30 SD card. And, oops, where did I go? Storage, active media, SD card. There we go, and play. Weird. What got put onto that card? That's 3 seconds long. That's not good. Let's pop that in my computer and see what's going on. Oh, I have a random black recording that is messing up that card for the HyperDeck. HyperDecks are so picky. Okay, let's try that again. And storage, SD card. There we go. Now I found it. So this is playing a 4K clip now, and it should be possible to pull it up in the YoloBox over HDMI. Let's see if it popped up. There it is. Okay, so if I do this, it's going to blast this in 4K on YouTube. So I'm only going to do it a couple seconds because otherwise it's going to be really annoying. And I don't want the sound for it. Actually, I'm going to put the sound for it. That is HDMI 4. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's kind of a loud click. So you should be hearing a click. Okay, are we back? I'm streaming to the backup URL. I'm streaming to the backup URL from the ATEM now. This has completely locked up. I told you it was a stress test clip. I didn't think it was going to be that dramatic, but it's just too much data for this thing to process. It's totally locked up. It had 100% CPU. It froze. So I need to reboot this. So yeah, if you want to stress test your gear, go get those clips. Let's see if I can. Oh, wait, that looked like that may have just recovered. Of course, as I turn it off. Oh, well, it's rebooting. There we go. That was fun. The ATEM is not necessarily immune to this problem either, actually, which is interesting. Let me, where did my chats go? Oops. There we go. Always have backups. It's true. I hope he was recording this some kind of way to see the CPU usage before it died. Nope, not really. Sorry. Let's jump back into this and see what is going on. Abnormal exit. Let's upload the logs to Frank so he can see what happened. Not really his fault. You did hear the click? Okay. Yeah. Shouldn't have been a problem uploading or running just the audio through that. But so what the point of the stress test clip is that it is a stress test. It will be extremely difficult and hard on encoders intentionally. So like if you look at it, you can't see in this preview, but this is black and white pixels, individual pixels, all moving in 4 tracks, which is a ton of data to encode. And then this is like a grid and some lines that go, I think you can see it better in, where is it? This one. So they are 1 pixel grid, 2 pixel grid that shake. So it's like, good luck encoding that. Okay, let's go. the chats should be showing. How do you stream 4K from the backup ATEM? It's not streaming 4K. It's doing 1080. So YouTube is upscaling it if you're still seeing it in 4K. Okay, so let's see how bad this is. Can I recover this? Hopefully all of my scenes come back, because that's a new change in the Extreme. Oh, we only see your cam. Oh, shoot. I've been showing the overhead camera this whole time. Let me switch over to teleprompter and see what's going on. Teleprompter needs to be the ATEM SDI. Oh, it's been my... Is it my... No, you should be seeing the overhead. I'm cutting between the overhead and the camera. You should be seeing that. What is... Oh. I'm streaming from the wrong ATEM. Okay. Let's try this again. We're doing this live. Okay. I think we're back now. So what was happening was I, in a moment of panic, went to go stream from my ATEM, and I pulled up my list of ATEMs, and I clicked the wrong one. That is the one that's on the rack behind me, and that's the one I normally stream from. So it was pure luck that you were even seeing my face at all. It could have been something totally random. So that was nice. So I fixed it. Now I'm streaming from the one I normally stream from, and now I should be able to cut to the overhead camera and show the chats. So cool. Well, that's a bummer because that is a bummer because I was showing the overhead of this when I was rebooting it and everything. So, oh well. And it was showing 100% CPU. It was just locked up when it crashed. Anyway, now we're back. So what I was saying was... Okay, we're back and fine. To understand your streaming setup, you're streaming 4K from the YoloBox and 1080 backup from the ATEM. Yes. Didn't know that would work. Me either. So, and then right now the YoloBox is still offline, actually. So the, yeah, so the YoloBox is... I can reboot it again. It's not going to help. I can crash it again, though. Let's do that. So let's plug this one back in. This is the one that made it crash. It's going to be freeze framed on that until I hit play. Okay. It's interesting that it does a pretty good job of previewing it, though. I'm still at a safe CPU. Let's actually go and stream live, though. Okay, so that's pushing to the primary. So YouTube shouldn't switch over because it usually only cuts over when the encoder fails. And then we're still at a safe CPU. So let's cut to this and see what happens again. Oh, didn't crash this time. Okay. Wonder why it crashed the first time. So let's go and let's try this again. I'm going to stop the ATEM. And we're going to stop the ATEM streaming, and that's going to make it fall back over to the YoloBox. And when it cuts over to the YoloBox, you should see this side angle. That's how you know it's cut over. Yeah, so if probably should have a startup macro that sets all the racks to output main camera. It's not a bad idea. Okay, so I'm gonna, yeah, so if I've started streaming from the YoloBox, so I'm sending 2 streams to YouTube right now, And if I kill the ATEM, YouTube should fail over to the YoloBox again. And when it does, you're going to see this side camera. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. And with any luck, we're going to still be live without too much of a delay. I don't know what the sync is between the two streams. And I guess 20 seconds later. So I don't know if it worked yet. I'm looking at a preview, but the preview on YouTube is not trustworthy. Oh, yeah. And I think you're hearing the beep now. You should be hearing the click. Yep. We're back and beeping. Great. Okay, cool. So now let's go and actually show you the test clip for reals and see if it crashes it again. Oh, we are at 60% CPU. Here we go. Didn't crash. There you go. So that's the 4K test. And now we can see just how good the YoloBox encoder is. It's, I'm going to have to look back at this recording. Actually, I can do that live. Okay, let's get rid of the beep, because that's annoying. But we're back on the YoloBox now, so that's exciting. And that means... Yeah, okay. It was a quick failover, didn't miss a lot. Great. Oh, the chats aren't showing up because I turned that off. It went over before you finished 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's no way to tell, like, when I'm sending two streams, I have no way to tell what YouTube is getting and what sync they're in. This is actually one of my feature requests for YouTube Studio is, I would really love for the YouTube Studio to show me, like, you know, there's two URLs, and I would really like to know which one's getting video, or maybe, you know, stretch goal would be actually showing a preview of them so I could see what the sync is like. But at least just having a dot showing which one's live would be a huge help. Okay, what was I going to do? I was going to go look at the stream and see what it looks like. So I need to go to the actual YouTube page for this and turn off my sound. Good. Okay. There it is. And now we're on the YoloBox, right? Okay. Oh my God. Yes. So I'm going to look back at the stream while it's live. Let's go make sure I'm not in 720. Let's go to 1080. My screen is not 4K. Just keep that in mind. So in order to... I don't actually know how I can pixel peep this. I think I can't. But we can at least get an idea. So this is what the YoloBox sent. And actually it does look surprisingly good. Oh, it's funny that zooming in zooms out on the video. Yeah, there's no way for me to do it on this screen. I need a actual 4K screen or to download this clip from YouTube. But if I look back at what it did, it actually is surprisingly good. Are we getting any frame drops? That's the next question. Let's go frame by frame. Yeah, so a couple frame drops. Okay, those all came through. I saw one. So if you press on YouTube, if you pause and then you press comma and period, you can go frame by frame navigating through videos, which is a super neat trick. So yeah, frame 12 is skipped. 11 was doubled, and then 9 is skipped, 8 is doubled, 7 was skipped, 6 is doubled. Nope, yeah. And now we're back to back to each frame. So it's definitely got some frame skips when it was streaming this, but again, this clip is designed to be extremely challenging to encode, as demonstrated by the fact that it crashed the YoloBox. Does the YoloBox have a software or hardware encoder? I'm not entirely sure. I assume it's hardware, though, because isn't that the point of the Snapdragon CPU? Let's see what Qualcomm says about it. They say I assume somewhere in there's a hardware encoder. It's not on this spec sheet. How do you go frame by frame? It's pause and then comma period, or the less than and greater than symbols, and then you can just go one by one. Yeah. Oh, Matt, I just saw your super chat. Thanks for that. The YoloBox Extreme is powered by the Qualcomm's most advanced industry-grade CPU, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. The CPU is 1.8 times more powerful than the one in the YoloBox Ultra. So that's what they claim. Great. Bowles Formo says, yesterday I was connected to my scheduled live stream on my Director Mini. Everything looked fine. Clock was ticking, but no bytes were being uploaded. Had to restart to get it to work. Oh, weird. First time I put it on standby. Yeah, good question. Was it on overnight or did you boot it while preparing for the stream? So in my experience, the Director Mini has been slightly more stable than the YoloBox, but not perfect because it is software based again. So, if you have it on for a long period of time, it just starts, having memory leaks or whatever. So that's going to be true with any software based encoder. Andre says, I still see a very tiny stuttering from time to time. Razor Baby says, do not use standby right now. They have a bug in software update. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that one I usually power off and don't leave it running. What are you doing? Says, we saw yellow 64% CPU when it stopped. That's so weird that it crashed it. I wonder, maybe it was not related to the stress test clip and it was just that it was a new HDMI thing that I plugged in. It's so weird. Let's try it again. Ready, go. Now it's fine. Oh, I can see the preview is very low frame rate. The preview on the YoloBox is definitely a lower frame rate than what you're seeing on the stream. Do you recommend it for CCTV? What do you mean for CCTV? I would not run the YoloBox unattended. It's not, their remote control options are not the best. Would be nice to see the CPU usage on the Director Mini in the top bar as well. Yeah, on theirs, it's, you can get to it, but it's like behind a menu. Okay, now lock up the ATEM. Mike has a good question. For those who have upgraded to the Extreme, what is your best new feature? What's Aaron's best new feature? Yeah, if you have the Extreme, let me know in the chat what your favorite new feature is. I would say for me, I don't know. What's the biggest difference between this and the Ultra that would be like the deal breaker? Because 4K for me personally is not it, but obviously that's like a big one. Ultra supports 4K, but 4K ISO, which I know it can record an awful lot at 4K. I don't trust it enough to record, to use it for like things where I need to record 4K ISO because I'm going to do post-production on them. Like, I would rather record 4K in camera and do post-production on the raw camera recordings. Yeah, I've seen the menu for it. It's buried. Yeah, it's not easy to find it on the director menu. Studio Back Media says, yesterday I was updated to the latest version in the YoloBox Extreme, but I can't find XML preset. What am I doing wrong, or is this feature not available yet? XML preset? The XML feature is the recording XML. So this generate the timeline XML file. Is that what you mean? I'm not on a beta or anything. I'm on like the regular production version, and I have it here. So it's possible maybe you're not quite on the latest version yet. They do sometimes roll them out slowly. Wellington Flights says, love the replays and the ease of clicking one button to replay in 75% speed on the Extreme. David says 8 HDMI inputs. Yeah, I guess that if you've been limited by the 4 HDMI inputs on the Ultra, then that is definitely a nice feature. What's the UVC output at what bit depth and what format? YUI2 or MJPEG? I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if... How could I find that out? Oh, the Rodecaster video shows the details. It's kind of a weird way to do it, but it could work. Let's see. Is that going to work? Can I plug it in here? Do I have a USB cable long enough? Maybe the power cord is long enough to reach. Too many cords. Okay. This might work. Plug. Oh boy. Let's plug that in. Which one is the... It's over there. Where are you? Oh, there's an update on my Rodecaster. Okay. Go to USB 5. No? Oh my gosh, I can't see back there. Do the Ultra and Extreme share the same CPU? No, they don't. The Extreme has a significantly more improved CPU. Mini and the Pro do share the same CPU. Here, let's go fix this. Let's go to the lab. Rodecaster video. And route that into the YoloBox so you can see it. We're gonna steal that one. Lab. Where are you? There it is. Okay. Let's make sure this is actually plugged into the right thing. 5. And okay, now it sees it. No, it doesn't see it. Do I have to change it on here first? I think I do. USB-C out. There we go. Ensure USB-C out is enabled before connecting the cable. Oh, great. Okay. Okay, turn that on. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the stream. USB-C out, and then we plug it in. And then we go back here. It still says disconnected. What is wrong? USB-C out. Oh, it didn't save. Ah! Turn on. Can I not do this while I'm live? Okay. Do you see that checked? I see it checked. USB-C out. Now it's checked. Great. Now we plug it in. And then we go look at the road. And still says disconnected. And it got unchecked again. I don't understand. Ensure USB-C out is enabled before connecting the data cable. Okay. Connecting the cable first may cause some devices to fail initializing. Sure. When it's enabled and the cable is connected, toggling the USB-C out may prevent the computer. Okay. By default, the USB-C operates in input mode. That seems fine. So let's... Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. It just disables it when I plug it in. Well, I guess I could try plugging it into my computer instead. But I don't know what program I can use to... That's so weird. It's like maybe I can't do it because I'm streaming. Yeah, the road doesn't like the signal, but it's more than that because it's not even... Normally when the road doesn't like the signal, it'll at least tell you that there's a device connected, and then it says it's an unsupported format. This is like the YoloBox is like turning its USB off before it even gets a chance. Weird. Oh well. This is why this is not my favorite use for the device, as you can see. Yeah, I can't even get it to stay on. Matt says, if I ever get the Extreme, it would be because more ports and a larger screen. And the bigger the processor is always a plus. That is true. The bigger processor is always a plus. Bowls from us says, my ATEM Mini Pro had a timeout. I had to restart my MacBook Air. Hadn't seen that in 50 live streams. I have had that happen before with an ATEM Mini where the USB output crashes. Completely unrelated to anything we're talking about today. How close are you to moving into the house now? Very, very close. They are painting. They've been painting all week. So thankfully they've been busy all week when I've been gone, which is nice. But yeah, they're doing the last final paint and it's looking really good. But they still have quite a bit left to do, and heaters got installed, and what's left? Cleaning, a lot of cleaning. But yeah, it's definitely, we're so close. And they did finish the paint in Lily's office, which means I think we might be able to move her studio over. Probably not for Tuesday this week, but maybe next week. I am very excited for that. Connect it to your PC and add to OBS or Remix. I would, except that it's literally not even letting me turn on the USB-C out right now. Should I see if it's because I'm streaming? Let's do it. Let's do that again. So let's go and stream from the ATEM to the backup. And then I will cut this. And now we're streaming to from the ATEM, and you should be seeing the screen of the YoloBox. And then let's try this again. In settings, USB-C out. Nope. Okay. And let's go back. Give that a second to push up, and we'll cut over now. Okay, are we back? We should be back to the 4K stream from the YoloBox. Oh, and I'm getting an error from YouTube. It says that the primary and backup streams have different resolutions. It is true. It's interesting that it handles it fine. Is it because you're in 4K? I don't know. Possibly. I thought it was supposed to do that. Well, Frank will tell me later in the comments or on WeChat. What version is YoloBox Extreme updated to? It should be on the latest. Oh, I don't want to get out of it because it'll stop streaming. It should be on the latest version. I checked somewhere. Oh, wait, no, I can do it here. It's in the settings. It's in... Maybe not. Nope. Oh, well. Have I thought about installing a catnip dispenser in the new studio? Might need to do that for Lily's studio. We got to figure out cat cam situation for her. Matt's is on a totally unrelated topic. I love the speed of my edits on the Mac Mini M4 with a Thunderbolt 5 drive. Oh, that's cool. I have I'm still on my M2 MacBook Air, which has been fine for me. I really don't feel like I need to upgrade, which is a weird thing to say. Is it a proper USB cable? Yeah, it's actually the USB cable from the Rodecaster video. The stream from the ATEM was still 4K on YouTube. I assume YouTube is going to upscale everything because I don't even understand how that would work if it would like try to flip the resolution on you midstream. So I'm assuming it's just upscaling. Maybe the stress test messed up the YoloBox and needs a reboot. That is very possible. It is still processing the stress test now that I'm looking at it. It's still sitting here spinning on that. I'll give it a break. We'll stop that. Maybe that's enough. Probably not, but hey, we can try. Yeah, UVC is not working at all. It's just not even letting me turn it on. It's weird. Mike says, any dramatic colors? Yeah, a lot of dramatic colors. I don't know if I have a... I guess I can show some interior camera progress shots of the painting. Let's... Oh, there's a cat taking a bath. Wrong cameras. Doesn't look very good in the dark. This is the kitchen. They've been fixing the little spots of cabinets that we had to like add fillers and stuff. So those are all blue now. Oh, the guy installed the hood, the duct work for the range hood. That's exciting. There's also, yeah, Lily's office is going to be amazing. So we finished this table and actually installed it. This is the live edge table. We found that slab at a shop and did all the finished work on it and did the epoxy and coat on that. And the unpainted wall was the one that's opposite of that wallpaper wall. So you can't see it in this shot, but they just painted that. So now I think this is done. If you remember what are the names of the paint names are the best. I have a whole document that I created to keep track of the paint names because if I ever need to get new paint, I want to know what they all are. And they are, yes, they are some fun names. We've got North Sea Green is that dark. And then Teardrop Blue is the light one. Blue Lake is the hallway. Gentleman's Gray is the bathroom. Bouquet Rose for the stairs. And then we've got Spellbound in the kitchen. Gossamer Blue, which is our least favorite of all the colors. Rosewood in the bedroom. And Dark Teal. Least exciting color name is the Speakeasy. Looks so good though. I don't have a camera in there, so I can't show you. The USB cable was inserted into the YoloBox before the switch was turned on. I was doing it both ways. Also, it shouldn't matter if the cable's in the YoloBox or not. It shouldn't matter what's on the other end of it. But I could restart and see what happens. But no cable. Oh, holy crap. Why? There's nothing plugged in on the other end. Okay, now if I plug it in, is it going to turn off again? Yeah. What? What? You see that? If I turn it on, there's nothing plugged in on the other end of this. Oh, no, there is. There is something plugged on the other end of that. It's the wrong one. There we go. Now I see what was happening. This was entirely my fault. The cable I was plugging in was the microphone. Womp womp. User error. Okay, let's try this again. Now that I have this proper cable, not plugged into anything, let's plug it in to the Rodecaster video. That's a very weird failure mode, though. And there it is. Details. Doesn't show me the codec. Oh, there it is. YUV. Now we have our answer. Oops. Yeah. Yes, that is hilarious. Okay, we have, can you focus? We have our answer. Frame rate is 30, format is YUV, and we're at 1920 by 1080. Too many cables. That is, in fact, what happened. Now we have our answer. Oh my gosh, that was so silly. So it was detecting that it was being plugged into a microphone and turning off the USB-C out because it was trying to be helpful. So that's what was going on. Really, what I should have done is not used this cable for the microphone and used something that looks significantly different instead, like a different color. Did I make the floor plan drawings? Yeah, they're all just like Illustrator files where I just drew the lines. They're like a simplified, stylized version of the floor plan, I guess, because I didn't want to take the raw like architectural drawings because I don't need that level of detail. I just want the rough idea of the floor plan. I always do that for everywhere I live. Cool. Well, that was fun. Where's the safe room? I wouldn't be able to tell you, right? Marson says, bought a pack of USB-C cables, each in a different color. I'm going to have to see if I can do that. Oh, yeah. 4K. So the Rodecaster doesn't support 4K. So let's see if I can plug this into the computer and see what happens on this end. Oh, interesting. When I did that, it turned it off again. So let's turn that back on. So moral of the story is you're probably going to have to go into the settings screen quite a lot. I also love that all of us came up with ideas for complicated solutions, complicated things going wrong, and missed the simple wrong cable solution. Yeah, I was just unplugging the wrong cable. So helpful. Okay, let's see if VLC is going to give me anything. Wait, can I do that? Yeah, open capture device. Where's my computer? Input devices, video, YoloBox Extreme. Open. Okay, that's good. And then do I get info? It is not 4K. I don't know where I could fix that. I couldn't hear the resolution of the mic on the USB cable. So the cable I was unplugging and plugging in was the microphone receiver, not the cable that was plugged into the Rodecaster video. So when I was doing that, it was detecting that it was a microphone and turning off the USB-C out to be helpful. So yeah, super smart one. Problem is I went to all Thunderbolt cables in place of USB, and I have not seen colored Thunderbolt cables. Definitely a market for that, and if anybody is going to do it, I feel like it should be Rode, because they have that nice set of colorful HDMI cables. Yeah. I almost rebooted the YoloBox to fix the wrong cable being plugged in. This is actually really encouraging because I have now been unplugging and plugging things into this and turning on and off USB-C out and plugging it into different devices this whole time while streaming from it. So, and it hasn't crashed. So that's nice. I like that. Okay. Hey, it's been almost 90 minutes. I think we should probably wrap this up. Yeah, you can tape ends of different colors. So that's what I've done with my HDMIs. If you look at the cables plugged into this, oh, they're just out of the frame. Here, let me pull this back a little bit. If you look at what I did with the HDMIs, I put these little colorful zip ties on them. So this way they get like little tags, and then the other end has the same zip tie. So when I'm looking at the cable here, and then I see the other end is plugged into the rack over here, I can be like, oh, that's number 4, and I can easily find it over here. So that's a super handy little trick. And I did buy like 12 different color zip ties. So I should just do that to my USB cables too, apparently. Oh, this is a great way to wrap up the stream. In plain sight coming in with the membership gifts, 10 new channel members. Thanks for that. We've got a bunch of new channel members. Great to have you here. And if you are a new channel member, make sure you check out the members tab below, and you will find a link to the Discord where we chat throughout the week. TBJ says, don't feel bad. I forgot to plug in the wireless antenna for the ref's mic on Friday. Oops. Marson says, what do you prefer, YoloBox or ATEM? They're just four very different things. So again, like the, I do not prefer the YoloBox for doing a stream in my studio like this. I will say that. I prefer the ATEM that's like, you know, permanently installed, has more inputs and outputs. It has different problems, but I know the problems with it also. It's more flexible for like a permanent installation. But so I wouldn't build a studio around a YoloBox. But I'm not going to travel with my ATEM, and I am not going to even like doing a small conference or like a small event. The ATEM is not my favorite option because it requires so many more additional pieces of gear to make it do everything you need to do. So that's the big advantage of the YoloBox, is that it is all just in this, and you need very little extra gear. Like maybe you need an external microphone receiver. Maybe, you know, you do need a camera, obviously. The nice thing about the YoloBox is you can use things like USB webcams, and now that they're getting good, it's actually like a reasonable option. There is no way to get a camera of this quality with HDMI out that also only needs one cable. So, you know, that's a pro for the YoloBox and the portability of it. But for studio stuff, I would just always prefer the ATEM. And the more interesting comparison, I think, is the Director Mini versus the YoloBox, because those are clearly targeting more similar kinds of use cases. So, yeah. New t-shirt slogan, I find your lack of cable coloring disturbing. I might have to do that. Yeah. In plain sight, good day, all just woke up. Welcome. Oh, are we? I think we're now in the time of year that daylight savings pushes us into a more friendly time zone for each other. Because you just set your clocks forward and we just set our clocks back. And that makes the time zone overlap a little bit nicer, I think. Or it's backwards and I got it wrong. I need to just up really early. Yeah, so now at 9 o'clock my time, it's only 4 a.m. versus it would have been 2 a.m., I think, is how that worked. Time zones are fun. What was this USB cam again? This is the YoloCam S3. It is linked below, and the this is the one that I used last week on the stream as my main camera. And then the other YoloCam is, so this is the little S3. It's just a webcam, so it's just USB. One of the cool things about it is you can plug it in the computer and use the app to change all the settings, including white balance and exposure and stuff, and it will keep the settings when you plug it into the next device. So that's cool. And then the other camera is, which is the one you're looking at me through now, is the YoloCam S7, which is that guy that has the micro four thirds lens. And it doesn't work behind a teleprompter because the autofocus sensor is on the side. So only downside. But it's also a good camera, and it needs, it's a webcam or HDMI out, so a little more flexible. But I like this little S3. It's surprisingly good. I find your lack of cable management disturbing. Alternate version. Should I just make a whole series of these and put them up on the store and you can get whatever ones you want? Yeah, I should do that. Maybe holiday gifts. You used to start at 2:30 and now 3:30. When's your daylight savings? First Sunday in October. because it ends up being like 2 hours different between the seasons. Anyway, happy early birthday to David. 7:27 a.m. in New Zealand, 7:27 p.m. in Poland. Your director mini was solid on your last trip. Yeah, totally. I agree. I mean, the director mini has been pretty solid, I would say. Definitely has limitations, but yeah. I find your encoder useless if it can't run APK test clips. Oh my god. Gwen says, for this crowd, I find your lack of a ridiculous number of switchers disturbing. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well, this was fun. Overall, though, this worked great. The YoloBox Extreme has been just cruising on this stream, other than that time that I crashed it because I plugged in a stress test clip to it. But hey, if you want to crash your live streams, you know where to find that stress test clip. But it's been good. It's been doing this whole thing. So let's, I guess, wrap up there. I guess we'll wrap up with that. You know where to find the shirt. Link below on the shop.airpk.tv, along with the links to the YoloBox and the cameras and the PK1 stand. 30% off on the stand right now. They're doing a fall promo or Black Friday promo. And yeah, with any luck, we should be back here same time, same place next week. Now that the time change is done, and I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll find out. Maybe we will try something new again. So with that, I guess we will roll the credits. I think they're going to work. I forgot to test the credits on the YoloBox. There we go. Thanks to the Extreme supporters, Larry, Andre, Kevin, and Marson, and thanks to all the other channel members for your support. I will be back for another members only stream in December, in about a month, to catch up on my YouTube accounting and see where all of the money comes from and where it all goes to, and see how close I am to breaking even this year. And thanks to In Plain Sight again for gifting 10 new channel members. I didn't put you in the list yet because I update this usually after the stream, so hopefully next week your name will be in that list too. Yeah, same time, same place next week. Possible surprise live stream this week, depending on if a package arrives. We will see. Cross your fingers. The music is very low during the credits. It's probably because it's the same volume as, it's not adjusted the same way it is on the ATEM. And yeah, it does not handle the animations as well as the as OBS does, but that's, yeah. All right, we'll see you all again later, same time, same place next week. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.